Now in 7D, we have a pretty difficult expression to factor simply because these numbers are big. And we can't factor anything from the beginning. We can't factor a 2 or 3 because 35 minus 27 and minus 18, there's nothing we can factor that will help us make this expression simpler to factor. So when we decompose, we need two numbers whose sum is minus 27 and whose product is equal to 35 times minus 18, which equals to minus 630. And as you can see, there are a lot of possibilities that could work for the product, but it also has to work for the sum. So it's pretty difficult to find those two numbers that will work for the sum and the product. Well, why don't we start with 9 times 7. We know that 9 times 7 is 63, so 90 times 7 equals to, actually let me write this a little bit neater. So 90 times 7 is equal to 630. And no matter what we put, so like a negative here or negative here, we can't get a sum of minus 27. So what about 45 times 14? When we put a negative here, this equals negative 630. That works for the product. But minus 45 plus 14 equals to minus 31. That's not what we want, but it's actually pretty close to the sum that we want. So we know that the two numbers have to be pretty close to these two numbers right here. So what about 42 times 15? That equals to 630. And we also know that when we have a negative for the 42, this becomes minus 630, which is what we want for the product. So there's a check mark right here. And we also know that minus 42 plus 15 equals to what? It equals to minus 27. So these two pairs, minus 42 and 15, work for the sum as well. Alright, based on this, we can now decompose the middle term. 35x squared, so minus 42x plus 15x minus 18. Good. Now we can factor out from the first two terms, the 7x, and we're left with 5x, and here minus 6. Because 7 goes into minus 42 minus 6 times, and there's an x and an x, so there's no x variable left over. From here, we can factor out a 3, and we're left with 5x. 3 goes into minus 18 minus 6 times, so this is a 5x. 5x minus 6, 5x minus 6, which means that we can factor out a 5x minus 6, leaving out a 7x plus 3.